First time trying chocolate martini. Pretty good. Love Requires Chocolate. That's the book I just finished, y'all. He's never going to have his cycle. He's never going to extend. And I like this book. I really love that book. But I'm interested to see. I don't say they drugged for the family, but they were very fancy. But I will read this book, give it a chance and see. You know, Kindle, I downloaded Verity. So I have the first 3 books of those, which I do plan to read soon. Why am I out of breath? Love Requires Chocolate. It is by Ravynn K, Stringfield. This was 167 pages. I read this book in 3 to 4 days. This is a young adult romance / contemporary romance fiction novel. She basically is going to Paris to write a play for singing and dancing and all the good things that she was planning on doing. And I read this book because I wanted something short, simple, black, sweet, to the point. And I love the cover. Got this book from Second and Charles in the 3 for $15 sale. So I got 5 books for $3. Book was $3. Can't beat it. Originally it was $12.99 US, $17.99 in Canada. She did an amazing job with this book. I appreciate her writing style. A1. Love Requires Chocolate. It was a contemporary young adult romance fiction novel. I read it January 20th through January the 23rd. It was 267 pages. Paperback. That's what I did. Paperback. She was a girl named Whitney Curry. She was obsessed with Josephine Baker. So I really appreciated that nod to Josephine Baker and the knowledge that it gave us about her going to Paris. She put us on a Parisian tour the whole time. I enjoyed that Parisian tour that it took us. Imagine Emily in Paris if it was a African-American girl going over there in a sweet, innocent type of way. I really loved the whole scene, the way that they mapped everything out as far as her learning experiences, learning the language, the different museums, but not just the Eiffel Tower and the basic touristy things. Even though they gave you a little bit of that, it gave you a little bit more in-depth traveling, so you kind of feel like you're in Paris. What wasn't my cup of tea? I ain't like how it was young adult, geared towards 12 years old and up. This was like at least a 16-year-old and up book because they had a little bit of cursing in it, and boyfriend, girlfriend shouldn't really be mentioned at 12. And that was just I'm like, we want a 12-year-old reading about that. I'm reading about it and I'm grown, and I was just like, okay, girl, do it. It was, so my favorite quote was, he wasn't on a list, and a friend said, the best things in life are usually aren't on a list. And another quote was, a long life dream was to go to Paris and study abroad, and her goals were Josephine Baker. I loved all of that. My overall rating, I'm going to get to that in a minute. Spice level was a 2. Would I recommend this book? Absolutely yes. I would recommend this book. She basically, it was a paperback book that I read. The title, Love Requires Chocolate. The author, she is from Suffolk, Virginia. And I used to live in Northern Virginia, so I really appreciate her Southern mentality that she written in this book. It was recommended not by anybody. I just felt like reading something short, sweet, to get into the African American reads for February. And this is just a jump start. Easy read, easy breezy. Would I read it again? No, I would not read this again. Would I recommend it? Yes. To who? I'm recommending this book to my cousin Oprah because of I recommended the dinner list because of the Aubrey Hepburn for her, but this one because of the Josephine Baker and the hidden talents and the world travel in this book. She would appreciate this type of book because of the fine arts in it. Themes, characters, I keep saying Josephine Baker, but definitely heavy with that, and I really appreciated all of those nods, the emotions, first love, grumpy sunshine. We don't know who's gonna fall first or who she was gonna fall for. My opinion about the author. So she's a professor and a writer in creative nonfiction, but this is her debut novel. I looked her up on Instagram and she's really cute with her style and her appropriateness with putting it into a book in a creative way. I like how she had it like scene 1, scene 2, scene 20. And it was no back and forth really between characters. It just read straight through. But she had text messaging in it where you had like the bubbles and whatever for texting. And she italicized like the girls list. See, this was cute. How she put that in the novel. And like writing style. Change of font that makes the whole book very interesting. Like the contract was different than a normal print. Appreciated that. The croissants that she had in the book. I love the croissants. Because they say ain't no croissant like a Parisian croissant. And she had it throughout the book. And it was cute. Let me see. So the list, the to-do list, was different form writing, different font. There you go. You can see. Kind of italicized. But I want to find a croissant. Here it is. The little croissants that she put. I appreciated the croissants. Very cute. Writing style, 5 out of 5. Relatability, 5 out of 5. I want to go to Paris. I've never been, but I feel like I've been through this novel. Readability, 5 out of 5. Like it was meant for a young adult, but easy for us to read. Normal people, not too difficult, but not too simple because it gave you a lot of information about the culture and information about Josephine Baker and her lifestyle. That was cool. Personal impact, definitely 5 out of 5. This is just like a book that's just gonna sit with me for a while because it's just the ideal type of book. The plot, 5 out of 5. Originality, 5 out of 5. My overall for this book, I'll say 5 out of 5. There was no, did it have any nods or anything? It says affectionately fun and deliciously sweet. I love how they put the food in the novel. I love how they put the tours. I love the fan art. Pretty book, paperback. It says Whitney Curry is primed to have an epic semester abroad. Having collected every detail possible about Paris, she has created the perfect itinerary and many, many to-do lists. She anticipates a grand adventure filled with the vintage boutiques, her idol, Josephine Baker, old stomping ground, endless plays, sure to inspire the ones she writes and directs. But all as she imagined when she's dropped off at a Parisian lycée, a fish out of water. Whitney struggles to juggle schoolwork, homesickness, and mastering the French language. Luckily, she lives for the dramas, literally. Q, French tutor, Theory, Magnon, a grumpy yet handsome soccer star who's determined to show Whitney the real Paris. This is a type 8 theater nerd ready to see how lessons on the City of Lights can turn into lessons on love. So I would definitely recommend this to a friend. Spice level was like a 2. This book came out 2024, like I said. And if you want to jump into Black History Month, I think this is an easy way to smooth your way into Valentine's Day and all things sweet. Love requires chocolate. Go out and get it. It was $12.99 American dollars, $17.99 in Canadian dollars on the back of this book. Of course, I got it from Second and Charles, and it was in a sale for 3 for $15. But follow her on Instagram too, if y'all see. It is Ravynn K Stringfield. Yep, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.